Так. Классический, тактический, ну, классику берем, да.
Ну, стандартно. Без всяких там заморочек.
Так, теперь мне надо тебя пригласить.
Угу. А я сам к тебе не могу.
Так, что-то, по-моему, мы неправильно сделали.
Там не через список сетевых игр.
А, во, пригласить игроков. Так. Пригласить.
Угу.
Подожди, а почему?
Так.
Что у меня... Так, ерундистика какая-то. Что он делает, господи? Лариан. Дубль 2. Новая игра, сетевая, классика. Так. Пригласить игроков. Рестип.
Где? Что-то тебя не слышно. Ага. Во.
Все, создаешь?
Я мужик. Понятно. Блин. Так,
Заклинатель, боец, инквизитор, жрецы.
изменить. Совсем забыл.
Такой двор, клинок, тени, страсть. Так.
Да, пусть мужик будет. Блин, хочешь уже во вторую поиграть?
Эту пройдем, поиграем во вторую.
Пройдем. Казак какой-то получается.
Так, ну попробуем так.
A whetstone.
Perhaps I can detonate that explosive from a distance.
A whetstone.
Ah, a forge.
Ah, a forge. The one place metal and bread are welcome in equal measure.
Так, а я что-то забыл. А как класс тут?
Ну, ты когда в изменить заходишь, у тебя там слева в левой колонке надпись «Жрец».
А,
И там стрелочки.
все. Так, кто там призыватель у нас? Во, колдун. Касание вампира. Хотя... Можно...
Цвета какие-то дикие.
Что-то все сбилось.
Так, ну я вроде готов.
Ща.
Сейчас. Иби, не забудь задать.
А, таланта нет. Талантах не то. О, геомантия. Так, если мы...
Что ты делаешь-то?
Так, ладно, все. Все, и... Я все.
Готов.
Я нажал ок.
А ты, кириллиц, не можешь ему имя задать?
Уже нет.
Господи, Женя, что ж
Да
ты
какая нафиг разница?
криворукий такой, а?
In the days of old, the sorcerers of Riverlong cured the sick and healed the wounded through a great power called Source. But a terrible darkness invaded the land, and Source was forever tainted. The sorcerers who once healed now only destroy, and madness has overtaken them. A few brave Source hunters are all that stand between Riverlon and the dark power that threatens to destroy it. Wherever Source appears, hunters follow.
Rise and shine, Master Source Hunter. The cam wants you up on deck. Hear them gulls? Means we're close to shore. I don't ever you go in there, Master Source Hunters. City's full of undead, hungry enough for blood. But you're supposed to investigate that murder, ain't you? They say it's Source that did the Counselor in. Source in a city like Sicil, nowhere safe anymore. Here they are, Captain Sir.
God's blessings on you, hunters. You'll be happy to hear we've reached Sicil. But there's trouble offshore, so we'll have to sail in carefully. Here, have a look. Those are orc ships, and they're blocking our passage. We'll get you as close to the city as we can, and drop you off on the beach. Be wary now. Orcs are on the attack. Undead have closed every route out, and there's a sorcerer on the loose. If we're to get justice for the Counselor, you'll have to keep your wits about you. May the luck of the gods be with you both, Source Hunters.
Так. Слышь меня?
Да.
Господи, у нас еще с тобой пиктограммки одинаковые. Ой, какой же ты бестолковый, а.
У нас с тобой перечески одинаковые.
Ой, ладно. Считай, что это братья-близнецы.
Так. Shift. Нет, Alt.
If I didn't know there were orc ships raiding to the west, I'd mistake this for a placid beach.
At least the orcs make a bit of noise when they attack. It's dark-dealing sorcerers that'll strike with neither warning nor mercy.
А, о, вспомнил. Альт подсвечивать.
Это я знаю. Так, нужно... Рано туда пошли. Нужно вот сюда.
Is that a corpse? What's it doing here alone?
What, did you expect it to have an entourage?
Так, что нам... А, ну.
Can you believe this? The man jumped off a cliff at the behest of some statues of all things.
Великие дела требуют великой веры. Возможно, его вместе у меня хватило бы храбрости поступить так же.
Pure madness. How could someone be so utterly naive?
Ты выбираешь.
Rivallon is no stranger to the supernatural. He might well have flown into the sunset and looked down at us cynics laughing.
Прагматизм и романтичность. Ты у нас будешь это... Колдун-романтик.
Сейчас. Рюкзак.
Пустые, что ли, ящики?
Да я уже их
Облутал.
полутал, да.
Здесь мы все посмотрели, да? Мы с другой стороны просто пришли.
Ага. А, по этой лестнице.
Source hunters, how did they find us?
Take the stone to the temple. These whelps will be easy to crush.
As you say, Madam Conduit.
Arise, fair dead. Seize upon our enemies.
Скелетики.
Так, ты хочешь
А я... Ага.
Фига ты жесткий вообще.
Так, как ждать тут? Забрать.
Ну там завершение хода боя, пробел.
А, все.
Теперь ты за паука ходишь.
Да. 68. 4 ОД, у них всего 4. Что? Бьем. А.
Красавчик.
Battering ram!
Надо там есть.
Ты уже все нафиг забыл, где очки действия-то? А, все, понял.
Да. Ух ты! Тварина. Надо дойти. Еще. И еще.
Не забывай про Friendly Fire.
Помню.
Ну и что ты так долго соображаешь? Не гаси его.
No glory in this death.
Their leader said something about escaping with...
Those thieves were more than... Dungeon, I imagine. Can we get inside?
We can't well turn away from such an odious show of source. Let's investigate the...
Indeed. For all we know, these dark-dealing thieves may be involved with Councillor Jake's murder.
Absolutely, sir. Let's investigate this. After you, sir. No, I insist, after you.
Так.
Так, один момент. У меня окошко чата почему-то здесь не хочет поверх. Вот, все, теперь хочет. Так.
Let's see. Key, lockpick, or hammer?
Так, а как у нас красться? Нас не видят. Пошли.
Как раз...
С.
А, да. Ты. Телекинез. Да.
Пошли. Так, там ловушка.
Careful, there's a mine in the middle of our path.
Someone must have an interest
А я
in
их не
protecting
вижу.
whatever's kept there.
А, вот, это вижу.
Better to detonate that mine safely than trip over it myself.
Ну шмали в нее чем-нибудь. Так, аккуратно. Крыски.
A king's tomb, is it? This seems to be broken.
Так, Жор, вот сюда, наверх. Ключ от сундука.
Который мы уже раздолбали, да?
Мгм.
Королевскую гробницу мы не трогаем до последнего.
Мухомор.
This seems to be broken. This seems to be broken.
Да ты чё говоришь?
Здесь какой-то проход, но пока он закрыт. По всей видимости, нам надо
I've
это.
spotted
Вот,
something.
нет, вот, сюда иди, вернись. Тут же нужно еще это качать на обнаружение.
We made short work of that door,
Э,
but I don't imagine our weapons would survive such use for long.
Да, кстати. Не забывай, что оружие тут портится. Не знаешь. Так.
У тебя там нету заклинания вызова дождя? Подожди, а что я подобрал сейчас?
Свиток дождя как раз таки.
Так, давай я тебе его передаю. Шамань.
Ух ты.
сундук.
Careful now, that's a trap.
Обратно, мина. Тут саперный набор лежит. Если что, не понимаю. Подожди. А, да.
Что ты делаешь?
Ну, подожди-ка, дай-ка я призову. А, я не могу.
Почему можешь ты? Пиктограммку его вывели.
Нет, их нельзя так.
А, он просто будет.
Угу.
Все. От город до города ходит, что ли?
Угу.
Это что такое?
Бери шапку.
Сейчас, бери. Старая тканная шляпа.
Крыска. Отмычки. А, Тихо, стой.
Я знаю. Что я
А,
не верю.
огненный шар вот свиток нашел.
А, ну шмаляй.
Ща.
Подошел бы подальше.
Стой, там сейчас пока горит все это дело. Бутыль с маслом. Только ключ был.
Понятно.
Ну, а тут ты сюда не заходил. Да, тут ничего интересного. Да, это правильно. Так. Фаербола у меня нет.
I've
Это
spotted
я.
something interesting.
А, тут... Да. Тоже.
Что ты делаешь?
Да, случайно это получилось. О, жезл. Жезлы это хорошо. Какая?
I think I hear voices downstairs.
The last thing we need is to surprise another angry summoner.
What's that? I think there are hidden foes ahead.
Масло аккуратно это.
They are but flies to this queen.
Meet your demise!
Все?
Die, vermin! This seems to be broken.
Наверх можно сразу подняться. Там. А, мы оттуда пришли. Блин. Подожди, еще туда идти. Сбрось.
Тут все уже.
Да.
Not even worth the rummaging.
А, древко стрелы нафиг нет.
Назад.
A living rat dares disturb the slumber of the dead? A thieving fool insults the sanctity of the grave. The bloodstone defiler, where is it? Strange indeed. Robed indeed. Your tricks will not save you from retribution, deceiver. The bloodstone, deliver it now and I may deign to end you quickly. In life, I toil to care for these holy grounds. In death, I protect them from profaners and poachers. The legacy of Cecile is mine to preserve. Her traitors are mine to destroy. I suppose you only crept among these sacred tombs for leisure. I suppose you had no lust for the treasure of the dead. Ha! Run if you like, defiler. Whichever way you take leads you to the grave.
Это занимает 4. Это 7. Не, нам определенно нужен помощник. Немножко отойдем. Ты потом иди к своему лучнику. Это пока лежит, у него один уход. Он сейчас сдохнет. Просто.
Bless the seven, I am restored!
Death never dies, fool. Death in 1,000 forms rules all.
Что-то я вот про это что-то подзабыл. Про призрака. Фигарь призрака тогда.
No glory in this death.
Че ты рано берешь? Лучника бей.
I can reach farther than
Так. Паук, конечно, спасает.
Ну да. Я думаю, там дальше будут покруче.
Там, если я мне не изменяет, то там двоих, что ли, он потом сможет призывать. Так, сюда выйдем.
Я тебе не про количество говорю, а про силу монстров.
Не, ну это да.
Подожди, мы с собой пробежали в самом начале, мы не открыли саркофаг.
Саркофаг. А не проще нам отсюда вернуться? Да, ладно, пофиг. А, отсюда не вернешься. Нету, видишь? А, вот дверь. Слепошира.
Блин, забыл где.
Чё просто?
По-моему, я вообще двигаюсь.
Ты у меня стоишь на месте.
Почему так? Не понимает, что ли, что сюда бежать надо?
Что-то там на себя наложил-то.
А, тут дверь. Все понятно.
Отмычки пропустили.
ничего там не было. Записка.
А как делать? А, он так не будет двигаться, если на карту
Нет.
ткнуть. Эх, собака. Хотя как нет?
Ты идешь вообще, нет?
Да, бегу.
Теперь нам на мост.
Hold it right there, orc scum! No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single horde in sight, you know.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Scythiel. We're legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Rivellon.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius? Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that. For that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay. Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
Ever kept the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon, buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I did. So, you're source hunters, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that's true? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know, those papers say you're a polymorph parrot on the lookout for a 2-bedroom birdcage. They don't prove a thing.
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you.
The wizard, you say? Sounds good to me. Lead the way.
Agreed. A wizard is bound to know more about what is going on around here.
Capital. Come along. We're not far from the city.
Подожди.
What's happening down there? Orcs! Bloody orcs! Come, let's go back to the bridge. Let the source hunters handle their big brutes.
Еще этой группкой займемся, да?
Да. Зря, конечно, это смешно. Я пауков нападу на этого шамана. Потому что это самая такая главная боль. Так. У тебя огненного ничего нет?
Я вот так могу.
А, хорошо. Ща. Так.
Я че, его все с одного удара, что ли, вынес?
Подожди. Я тебя усилил.
Try to resist this, worm!
Ох ты негодяйский негодяй.
А кто все выстрелил?
Там
Лучник?
Черный сектант, да.
I need another chance.
Ты все. Минус один.
Бочку эту не взрывай, смотри. Это наших подобьешь.
Огненный, я так могу разбить, но это бесполезно. Подойди поближе. Ой, что это? Сектанта надо вынести. Иди вынеси сектанта. Я орком этим займусь. Звери какие-то.
Это суровые легионеры, да. What did you say about my mother?
Нехило ты так ответил.
Какому-то жбаном, блин, по ведру жестяному. Готовченко.
Who was that joker leading those human commander? How very curious and disquieting.
Че, она совала, по-моему?
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
Что, все собрал?
Да. да.
Taken before his time. Far before his time.
Ну что ты замер-то?
Качаюсь. А, вот. Интересно. Сейчас все.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Sicil. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city. So you were, and so you weren't. Behold, there we are. Meet my other half, hunter. Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you my plea is an earnest one. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Sicil proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find poor Jake's widow. A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts, a shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The Orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most Orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course, it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter. And I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs, but do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Sicil. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere
Sects, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go and see that Aureus chap Arhu mentioned?
Надо потушить корабль. Кражи. Не забываем.
Туши.
Тут поговорить же надо с чуваками.
Here in Sicil? Ah, of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. That was some fast acting there. Many thanks on behalf of all us seamen. Madness. Thought we were done with those swampy uglies a fortnight ago. Note, though, that none of them dared to come close to the tide splitter.
Also, да, кстати, Луи.
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do nothing but look on. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than 3 men with nothing more to say than boo. These damn orcs. They can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you can keep an eye out, though. That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd have been around when our own barge went down in flames.
Oh, and don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the lizard king.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of sun? Name's Conrad. Cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give old Conrad a holler when it comes to rare imports and magical items. Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard resides. Though even I must admit they put up a hearty effort. I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over.
That loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Really? The greatest warriors in Rivellon can't cross a rope.
У нас нету телеканального телепорта.
I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door. I don't know how you did that, hocus pocus, but boy am I grateful. Nothing worse than seeing a fine vessel like that disappear beneath the waves. I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the orc shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails, but you managed to rescue her from a watery grave. Closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtius, proud protector of this house of Legion goods. Curtius is my name, the Legion is my calling. This is a storing house for Legion supplies, perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And I, Sergeant Curtius. Just making conversation, mate.
Mate, he says. We are colleagues, nothing more.
Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around. And don't mind if I pick your brain about the scoop around Undervale. I'm behind on my current affairs. I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter a few times an hour. And of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation, though my comrade Horatius has quite different opinions on that matter. Have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about godly duty and security breaches. This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife Esmeralda, and the butcher seconds that, let me tell you. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself, and there's his children to consider. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since. Oh, it's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh ear around here.
Keep your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside this warehouse? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my comrade Florius, or as I prefer to call him, Loose Lips McGee. As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not chit-chat with intruders. That idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and straight to the perimeter. Let him rot off as zombies here instead of mine. Even thinking of him turns one into a gabbing hen. Please, leave me be.
Лучше сохранись.
Я помню этот квест.
Listen! She's purring.
Who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile.
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our posts. I can hardly believe I've been wasting time protecting an orc when I should be running them through.
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time now. It makes him a bit edgy.
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. I'll take my chances as a bachelor, thanks.
My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady. For a brief second, as long as eternity, we locked eyes. Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword and instead adroitly fling my pouch of trinkets towards her. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a sweetly savage manner would never willingly join up with those vicious marauders.
Ha! I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape and who she'll rip to shreds?
Ah, I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the Wizards of Youthful Gore about an amazing opportunity that could change my life, I had to act fast or lose the once-in-a-lifetime deal. I sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and it has worked exactly as promised.
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil and bringing a temporarily tranquilized monster into our midst to boot.
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement? I'm sure the effects of the potion will be everlasting, as printed.
You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to shave him from his murderous darling.
She's got to be put down. If this love potion is as dodgy as it sounds, she could come to her vicious senses at any time.
Agreed. I've never met an orc I trusted, charmed or not.
Glad to hear I'm not the only one with common sense around here. I'll do the honors myself.
No! She's harmless! Please! You bastard! You had no right!
No right to protect not only you from your own stupidity, but myself and the citizens of Syceel as well.
It's you we need protection from, murderer. Fortunately, the Wizards of Youthful Gore make a revenge elixir that will show you what's what.
Go ahead and throw your sugar water on me if you like. Your foolishness is no longer my problem. Thank you, stranger. If you ever need help, I'll do my best to repay you.
One day, Moira. One day you'll show 'em all. Thank you for talking some sense into that knucklehead. That she-beast would have been the death of us.
А, на здоровье.
Самое тяжелое тут случайно не нажать не на ту вещь.
Так, это выход.
Наверх. Еще раз. Да.
Так, что у нас тут? Место преступления, странная пещера, Эсмеральда, капитан. Мы к капитану, да, сначала идем?
А что капитан?
Нам разрешение надо получить у него на посещение места преступления.
А, да.
See,
Стоп,
no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I...
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal... Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish.
I suppose you've got a point. Another day, another rumbling belly. Dead a hungry man, you know.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until his growling belly seduces him back onto the crooked path. Thank you for making that would-be thief see reason. I only hope your instruction lasts. The last thing the plagued people of Sicil need is a thief among them.
Так, стой, подожди-ка, я хочу кое-что посмотреть.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Чиз. Что это?
Хил.
А, это у тебя хил только на себя?
Не знаю. Так, сразу устанавливать сорведение здоровья у вас или у союзника, стоящего поблизости.
Радиус маленький?
Да.
Так, геомантии. Так, надо продать кое-что. Вот и сюда. Сразу.
Don't scuttle away before you've
Пока
tried some
не
of
с
the
кем.
ocean's finest bounty. How many crab claws would you like? 3? 11? I listened in while you were talking to that would-be thief. Thank you for preserving my stock. It's no wonder you source hunters are known for setting the place.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Lay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff. Lay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the...
Hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan of the fine arts. Now, I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Sicil, and you'd be quite right. I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps. Like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that surrounds him.
The finest veggies Sicil's ever seen.
I bet Tim Fred's been strung up by his ears by now. Devilish thing.
Source hunters, eh? All right, proper, we're finally getting a hand. If you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved in the night like me dear plump Ogget, the finest in me herd. Now that the herd's gone, old Bertie's just scratching by like a hen till the next batch of beasties comes through. I recently sold most of the tender loves to a trader heading north. Plenty of business that way these days. Those miners must be preparing for a mighty great feast. Wish I could have a nibble on my dear darlings, all ground and spiced. Yes. Oh, Ogget's been missing for more than a fortnight. I love that sheep, you know. Was planning to cook her into a fine midwinter night haggis myself. Do tell me if you hear anything about her. I plan on pursuing whoever stole her with my cleaver in hand. Sorry, can't help you there. Haven't got enough livestock left to warrant a hand with the work.
Вот сюда. А.
Не-не-не-не-не. То есть...
Не-не-не, это за дом надо зайти. Нет, с другой стороны тут не пройдешь.
За какой за дом?
Вот этот дом нужно с левой стороны обойти.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy, if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite...
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after...
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Source Hunter, I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those folks should embarrass a breach troll. Get to shining, recruits.
Sorry, sir. It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me. Even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have. And perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.
Sir, no, sir.
И вот сюда.
Все круто, только где ее лук?
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those people embarrass a breach troll. Get to shining, recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Почему безоружный?
A bold face! To the front!
Ладно, надо ее как... Одеть ее надо.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear? I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. He just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now, Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sicil stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Sicil. We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.
Неприятный тип.
Да. Дебилушка.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. But certainly, what would you like to know? Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet. Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me in my cat guise, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar. Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Such magic is a gift to be out in the... But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows, by all means. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen, all the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry. Of course, I hope your investigation fares well. I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal. They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion erupted and the thundering light of magic was witnessed by the few remaining patrons. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt were vile. Source, no doubt. I myself have none, even though the rest of the town has already mentally tried and convicted Jake's wife Esmeralda. Now it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, and what might those be? Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizens stagger home from the inn or simply burn the midnight oil, I haven't spied a single soul worthy of true suspicion. The enemy is wily. They know us better than we know them, and they've found ways to avoid both detection and distrust. Yet I am somehow convinced that you may succeed where the Legion and I have failed. Call it instinct.
Не долби по микрофону.
You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior. But to the Legion they are green-skinned death incarnate, until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through. Or, less likely, they are conclusively defeated. We can but bar the gates and hole up like mice, while the... Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100% legally obtained, self-regenerating source of destructive magic to it, and bob...
Давай на сегодня, наверное, хватит.
Так, сейчас, подожди. Чё, книг... А, пока еще не доступно. А, вот книги. Геомантия, послание, огромная броня.
Все, закончил.